I love Fire Emblem. From the second I first played Awakening as a young kid at my grandparents' house, I've been completely enraptured by this chess meets anime meets dating meets visual novel Frankenstein's monster of a franchise. Since then, I've played through almost all of them. From the gorgeous sprite work of Sacred Stones, to the beautiful simplicity of Shadow Dragon, whatever the fuck Fate's Revelation is. And while I've never really cared for the plot of these games, the gameplay and art was always enough to keep me coming back, with there being something strangely engaging and addicting about the core combat. I loved the organic stories that formed over time, like how in Shadow Dragon, Sedgar became my beefy general, and once withstood the attacks of like 50 enemies at once, before ploughing through them all one by one like the brave and incredible hero he is. So needless to say, I was pretty excited for Engage the second I saw that toothpaste-ass haircut for the first time. And it's pretty good. The gameplay is very much classic Fire Emblem. You move your units, you attack with your units, you make your units shag, bing bang bosh. Except, this game is one big change. One big innovation that completely shapes up the gameplay. Your units actually move around when you're deciding what to do, and it's not just an arrow anymore. Bravo, Nintendo, you've done it. Bravely innovating yet again. Though you can turn it off if you want. So all the Fire Emblem purists out there can stop screaming and crying. The actual big new feature is the Engage feature, the one in the title that's 50% fan service and 50% breaking the game in half. As much as this is obviously a marketing gimmick, I do quite like the idea of someone who's only played 3 houses being absolutely baffled by the appearance of Sigurd. How the feature actually works is that your unit can fusion dance with a Fire Emblem protagonist from past games, and temporarily gain access to a new weapon and a new broken skill. My favourite of these was easily Lynn's, which lets you fire arrows basically anywhere on the map, which was made even better thanks to the fact that, praise the Lord, archers are finally good. My best unit ended up being Alchrist, the archer, who destroyed everything in his path, and it was absolutely beautiful after so many games of archers just being pathetic. Whilst you'd fully expect the Engage feature to tear the game in half, it only somewhat does, as the game is vaguely balanced around it. Your units only stay engaged for 3 turns at a time, and can only use their new awesome skill once. Bosses also have multiple health bars, so you can't just pick them off immediately with Lynn's skill on the very first turn and beat the level. Fire Emblem Engage on normal mode is anything but unfair thanks to the time crystals, which more so than the Engage feature completely ruin any semblance of difficulty. At any point you can rewind a battle and try it again, and normal mode grants you infinite tries of that, allowing you to undo any small mistake you make and completely avoid ever getting a game over. I mean, even if you just miss an attack, you can go back in time, avoid the bad RNG, and try a different strategy. Whilst this obviously stops the game being too frustrating or unfair, it does make each decision and action have significantly less weight to them, with the knowledge that you can just trial and error your way through every small encounter. Whilst the story of the game is absolutely fine and passable, the nature of the story with a small group of recurring villains does result in the second half feeling very repetitive, as the same bosses are just copy and pasted over and over in every single level. By the end, you will get very, very sick of seeing some of these smug bastards at the end of every chapter, especially as the game is quite a bit longer than your average Fire Emblem game. Overall, Engage is another Fire Emblem game. And whilst I can't see it turning non-believers into fans, and it might even put off 3 Houses purists who are just really into their teacher roleplay, for veterans this is a great addition, and for newcomers this is a great starting on point. They can just deal with not knowing who Sigurd is.